Hello bookers, welcome to Let's Book, which is an episode of Let's Book Economy. The home ownership rate in the United States is a key economic indicator that represents the percentage of households that own their homes rather than renting. Here is a detailed look at what it is, why it matters for the economy, and how it can affect US travelers. What is the home ownership rate? The home ownership rate is calculated as the number of owner-occupied housing units divided by the total number of occupied housing units. For example, if 66 out of 100 households own their home, the rate is 66%. Another example, 75 divided 120 multiplied 100. Recent figures. In recent years, the rate has typically hovered in the mid-60% range. For instance, data from the US Census Bureau and other housing market analyses often cite figures around 65%, though these numbers can fluctuate based on economic conditions and regional differences. 2024 fourth quarter of home ownership is showing similar results. What is significance for the US economy? Economic stability and wealth building. Home ownership is a primary way many Americans build wealth as property values appreciate over time. Home ownership can gain significant equity, contributing to personal net worth, and with time that will affect all United States economy. A higher homeownership rate often reflects a strong consumer confidence and financial stability. People are more likely to invest long-term assets when the economy is robust. Housing market health. Shifts in the homeownership rate can signal changes in credit availability and lending practices. For example, easier access to mortgage can increase the rate while tighter credit might reduce it. The housing sector is a major part of the economy, affecting construction, home improvement, and related industries. A stable or growing homeownership can support job creation and consumer spending. 3. Regional variations. Home ownership rates in the US vary significantly depending on the region. Rural areas typically have higher home ownership rates compared to urban areas. Additionally, regions with lower housing costs, such as parts of the Midwest and South, tend to have higher rates, while dense urban areas and coastal cities often have lower rates due to higher cost and a large rental market. In 2023, 74.1% of households in rural areas owned their homes, compared to 51.2% in urban areas. Several factors contribute to these variations. Economic conditions and demographic state. Lower home ownership rates vary due to factors such as population density, economic conditions, and population characteristics. Housing density. Urban high-density counties often have lower homeownership rates. Cost of living. High cost of living coastal areas register some of the lowest homeownership rates. As the fourth quarter of 2024, the homeownership rate in the US was 65.7%. Implications for US travelers. First, short-term rental market. In areas with high homeownership, fewer properties may be dedicated solely to rental purposes. This can sometimes mean a tighter supply of short-term rental options such as Airbnb listings for travelers. In some communities, a high percentage of owner-occupied homes may coincide with local regulations that restrict short-term rentals, affecting travelers looking for alternative accommodations. Regions with strong homeownership rates may see more community stability and investment in local infrastructure, parks, and cultural amenities, factors that enhance the travel experience. Conversely, if economic shifts cause a decline in homeownership or force a transition to more rental properties, there can be changes in the local hospitality market. For example, an increase in rental properties might boost the availability of vacation homes, but could also lead to higher prices if demand outpaces supply. Long-term trends affecting travel. Changes in the housing market can influence where people choose to live and work. Urban centers might see fluctuations in both long-term residents and transit populations, which in turn affects how travel and tourism sectors develop. In tourist-heavy regions, homeowners might rent out their properties seasonally. A high homeownership rate could therefore indicate potential for a robust short-term rental market during peak travel seasons, benefiting visitors with a wider array of lodging options. Median sales price for houses sold for the United States. Yes, guys, we will showing you the median sales prices for last 10 years in the USA. Inflation is another thing can be considered if you want, but in this video we won't. We will focus on the home and home ownership. If you watch bought a house in 2014 that was 298,900. If you watch bought a house in 2015 that was 302,500. If you watch bought a house in 2016 that was 310,900. If you watch bought a house in 2017 that was 337,900. If you watch bought a house in 2018 that was 322,800. If you watch bought a house in 2019 that was 327,100. If you watch bought a house in 2020 that was 338,600. If you watch bought a house in 2021 that was 414,000. If you bought a house in 2022, that was 442,600. If you bought a house in 2023, that was 423,200. If you bought a house in 2024, that was 419,200. All of them in dollars. First, more than half of nations have home ownership. Second, there is a good apps for connecting others. Third, home price index is up in 4 years. Fourth, last 5 years median sales price of houses sold around 400,000. The home ownership rate is more than just a number. It is a vital indicator of economic health and consumer sentiment. For the broader economy, it reflects in financial stability, influences wealth building opportunities, and drives spending in related sectors. For US travelers, this rate can subtly shape the landscape of available accommodations and local tourism economies, affecting everything from short-term rental availability to the quality of community amenities. Understanding these dynamics helps both policymakers and travelers navigate the interconnections between the housing market, economic conditions, and the travel experience. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.